bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here.
Hey everybody, it's Saturday morning now, April 26th. Another nice dreary overcast day here in Maryland. I'm assuming someday we're actually going to start warming up. It's somewhere in the 50s. Not terrible to be outside, but certainly not what I would consider to be an ideal, lovely day. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this back together now. This is part 2 of the video. Yesterday we talked about how this unit was assembled and the original genesis of the whole idea and how many iterations I had gone through to arrive at this final build. And I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on now and show you how that came out. It actually worked out just exactly the way I was hoping. It looks quite good. So in part 1 you saw what the lid looked like before, and now you're going to get an after shot. And as I had mentioned in this part 2 video, I'm going to post the blueprints that I created in AutoCAD. They're not going to be beautiful. They're not a 3D rendering, and it doesn't look like an artist sketched them. It's basically a straight up line drawing. So if any of you ever worked in any of the engineering disciplines, you'll definitely recognize it. Like I said, it's quite simple, but it will have all of the required details. If you so choose for some reason to go ahead and try to duplicate this, that would actually make me happy. That would mean that I've done my job and it's actually been helpful to someone else, which is really why I'm doing these videos primarily for the most part. Let me fade back down here again. So here again are the 7 relays. Actually, the way this is constructed, depending on how you laid out your internal box, I could see that you could probably support at least 8, 9, or maybe even 10 if you really needed that many circuits, depending on how you laid your relays out. You can see, of course, that I just put mine in a straight line, and what I did was remove the lid of the fuse box. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it in this view. Let me see if I can pan the camera a little bit. Okay, there we are. I removed the lid of the fuse box and just took a piece of angle bracket and bolted that through the lid. As you can see, there's a bolt there in the frame just to the left of the power steering reservoir. And from there, I just went ahead and attached the relays to keep them from bouncing. Now these are nice, even though these are for the most part the Bosch knockoffs. I do have one genuine Bosch here, you can see. I've had no problem at all with these relays. Yeah, I realize they're made in China and they're probably not the super highest quality, but I've never had one actually fail. They've always worked as expected. I do carry a spare with me. What's nice about the way these sockets are arranged is that the sockets have teeth on them, and they actually can be snapped together like a giant Lego set, mating teeth one to the next. So all 7 of these relays are actually hooked together into one giant assembly. So therefore I just needed to put some wire ties here in a couple spots to keep the whole assembly from bouncing, and that was able to retain all of them without having to put an individual bolt through each one of these tabs. Obviously that would be another possibility, but this worked out pretty easy and pretty quick. So I was happy with the end result, and as I mentioned, it's been absolutely trouble-free. I've not had to replace a single fuse. Nothing's blown. Everything has worked exactly as intended, and it turned out to be a very helpful project in the times that we were off-roading some of the trails in Maine where there's absolutely no lighting for 50, 70, sometimes 100 miles before you get to any type of civilization. So pretty much whatever you've brought in with you is all that you have to work with. And there are all sorts of wild animals roaming around up there, including if you get further up into the mountains. I believe that I'd heard there's even wildcat. I haven't seen any of those, but definitely deer, possum. There are moose roaming. So extra lighting is definitely very important. And anybody that owns a Frontier probably is aware of the pathetic stock headlights. There was a thread started on replacing them with LEDs, and I believe that that thread now has close to 200 actual response postings on that particular thread. So obviously that has turned into a big subject all by itself. So we're going to go from there, and I will catch you soon. And as promised, here is the end result. I think it came out very, very nice. As I had shown in the video earlier, basically I just taped off the center section, scuffed all the way around the edge of the plastic. I laid down 2 coats of Krylon gloss black. This is the type which is color and primer in one, and it's rated for a whole variety of materials including plastics, and I think it's really cleaned up the look a lot. You can still see a little bit of the edge of the weather stripping showing past the black, but overall I'm very happy with the end result, and it definitely meets the project goal that I had in my head as I was seeing it and visualized and now been able to realize. So that's all for this video and all for today. I hope this has inspired you to go out and possibly do some electrical work on your own and maybe upgrade your lighting and other equipment. And it's really not as daunting sometimes as it first seems. Just get out and try it. You may not get it perfect the first time around, but that's how we learn. Give it a shot. Love to hear from you. Leave comments, please, and subscribe. Thank you.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time.